Hi everyone! Today we'll be looking at Dominant Industries' new collection called the Log of Atlantis. This is a really cool collection from them, including 2 inks, a wooden stamp, and a very exciting book that I can't wait to show you guys. So it's a collection based on the lost city of Atlantis, that kind of like mythical like city underwater, but also like themes of ocean and like ocean creatures, a lot of fish, like a lot of flora and fauna of the ocean basically. Let's get into what is in this collection. So here I have everything on my desk here. So we have the box for the ink archiving book, and then the 2 inks. There's one standard and then one shimmer ink, and then this is the wooden stamp. The 2 inks in the Log of Atlantis series or collection are Seaweed, which is the standard color, and then Atlantis, which is the shimmer ink. And it comes in this beautiful new illustration of this kind of like ink vial, I think. And then it says Log of Atlantis on the top here. And as you can see on the packaging already, seaweed is going to be this like deep green color, where the Atlantis color is going to be this like ocean blue color. So seaweed, and this is a standard ink, and this is Atlantis, and it's a pearl or shimmer ink. So you see the shimmer on the bottom here. And we'll swatch these in a bit. And I want to use use some pages from the book to swatch them, but we did make these swatches already. So this is Seaweed. It's a really nice kind of mossy kind of green, and then Atlantis is really beautiful blue shimmer. It's reflecting very blue. And you can see in the writing sample here as well, the subtle kind of shimmer. Yeah, it's really pretty. You can see the light catching the blue shimmer there. Yeah, so those are the 2 inks, Seaweed and Atlantis. And then I want to look at the wooden stamp. I'm really excited about this one. So on the packaging here, you can see it's the same drawing of the kind of like vial, or like a potion bottle, I think it looks like, with the little paper tag on it. It's really cute. So it comes in this box, and this is the stamp inside. So the stamp looks like this. It's the bottle with the little paper tag on it, and it looks like, I'm not sure if like this top thing is supposed to look like a whale or something, but that's what it's looking like to me. And then it's just a rubber stamp. I brought my MD cream paper pad, and I have 2 Swatches ink pads here with me. I have this one, which is like, it's their shimmer version, then this is like a gray color, and then I just have like a brown color. I think I'm gonna try with the shimmer gray. It actually kind of fits perfectly on this pad, so I'm gonna press it into the pad, just getting these corners. It's really intricate, so I want to make sure I get all the corners. I'm so excited. Okay, let's try it. I'm always nervous with stamps, but I'm gonna try it over here. Wow, I love it. It's so pretty. And all the details came out really nice. Yeah, look at all the shading like details and all the intricate like ornate decoration, I guess, on this bottle. It's really pretty. So that's the wooden stamp from the Log of Atlantis collection. Let me actually do another one so we can swatch the 2 inks actually. I did want to use the brown one too, but I just don't have anything to like clean this with right now. let's do a second one here. Nice. Yeah, this is a very, I love the illustration style. It's very like intricate and very detailed. But yeah, so I'm just gonna wait for this to dry on the side here, and let's open the box for the log book, I guess, ink archiving book. So it comes in this box, and when you open it, you see this beautiful book in here. I love the kind of like theme for this collection. I mean, personally, I just love this kind of like old book aesthetic. It looks like it's a book that you would find in like an old library, and you would have to like dust it off a little bit. So just to show you the details, it says the ink archiving book on the spine here with some more ornate decoration. Yeah, I just love it. And let's flip through the book a little bit. So it's the first page starts with the same vial of ink, and it says ink archiving book. And on the little tag here, it says a log of Atlantis. Yeah, so it looks like in this bigger version, you can see this stopper has a whale on the top and a bunch of sea stars. It's so cute. And this is like, I think, supposed to be kind of like waves and some more seashells and things like that. I love it. And then there's a spot for you to like write down your name. Yeah, and then the whole concept for this book is that it's kind of like a picture, like coloring book. And you should be able to use fountain pen inks to color these pages in, and that's just like a different way of swatching your inks. And I think it's really lovely, especially because the illustrations in here are so beautiful. Yeah, and the pages are kind of, again, themed around things you might find in Atlantis or on your journey to Atlantis, I think. That's how I kind of interpret this collection. This is supposed to be kind of like someone's logging their journey to Atlantis, and like they see all these fish, and yeah, it's giving like encyclopedia. At least that's what I'm getting from this book. But yeah, so I think the idea is you can color this in with some inks, and I imagine you might wanna, like this fish one, you might wanna kind of like, let's say you use 4 different inks to color in some parts of this page. You might wanna swatch them here, I think, and then write down the names of the ink. These illustrated pages, they're kind of like, you know, like up to your interpretation. At least that's how I would wanna use it, is let's say I wanna use 4 different inks to color the page here. Then I would swatch them here, I guess, and then write down the inks. But you could use some of these pages, at least with a lot of lines here, to just maybe even just like as a diary or something like that. But some of these illustrations are wild. They're so detailed, and I love like something like this where it looks like there's like dolphins and things, but then you see this building in the background. So that's like supposed to be kind of like a building you found in the lost city of Atlantis. That's really fun. I love it. This is like all about turtles. This is about mermaids, I guess. Yeah, so it really kind of goes back and forth between like realistic drawings of like things you might find in the ocean, and some imaginary illustrations of what the city might look like and what you might find there, like the mermaids, but also like something like this, where this seems to be like part of the building that's kind of maybe abandoned or something, with all these fish. And then something like this, which is obviously more mythical or like imaginary, these like unicorn seahorse creatures. Very cool. Something I just noticed about the book, and I've marked some pages here, is it repeats. So pages from here to here, the same illustration or the same pages repeat here. And I think the idea behind that is you might be kind of afraid to start one if you only get one shot. So you get another set of the identical pages here, and then it also repeats again in the back, but this time with a blank page on the other side of each illustration, which I think is a really nice touch. So if you want more of a kind of like blotting paper, or if you want more space as just like a journal maybe, or you want more room to swatch some of the inks, you can do that in the back here. So every page alternates with the illustration and then blank page on the other side. And then there is a bookmark tassel. And then after you're done with these pages, you go into the ink logging pages. So these are kind of self-explanatory. You swatch in here and then you write down the ink here. And you get a lot of these pages too, which I think is really nice if you want a place to just log your inks without the distraction of all the illustrations. And maybe I can kind of imagine you can think of a index system maybe, so you can refer back to these pages in the back from your like illustrated pages. Yeah, so it's very cool. I want to try coloring in today, which I'm really nervous because these drawings are like, I feel like my coloring is like not gonna do these drawings justice. But I really want to try coloring one in. Yeah, but first I think my stamps are dry now, so let's swatch these inks with the stamp. I'm gonna start with Seaweed, which is a green standard ink. Okay, so I'm just gonna use my Q-tip to swatch in the bottle here. Ooh. Then maybe I'll do like a little swatch here. Dominant Industry Seaweed. Let's do Atlantis, which is a shimmer ink. So I'm gonna shake it first. So those are the two inks swatched using the wooden stamp from the collection. Yeah, I love this combination actually. I think they look good together. I think Seaweed is a really nice color for just like daily writing in your journal. Yeah, so let's try a page from the ink archiving book. I did bring a brush with me to use for this, and I'm just gonna use the same two inks for this page. So I really like this page with these manatees here and a lot of like greenery. So I think this page might be kind of nice. So first I'm gonna color in some of the trees and like these green things like seaweed. Oh, I mean this is like kelp, right? So that's seaweed basically. So I dipped my brush in the ink bottle and then I dipped it in some water actually to water it down a little bit, because I think I want to be able to get some nice like different values here. And then now I'm just gonna try without watering it down. Alright, so that's my first color down. So this is again kind of watered down swatch here. And I think you can be like as, you know, detailed or loose as you want. There's no rules. If you don't like how it turns out, you have 2 more pages of the same illustration in the book, which I think is a pretty good idea actually. Okay, so that's my kelp with the color seaweed. And as this is drying, it's looking really nice. I like how deep the color is actually. It's actually so fun and like relaxing almost. I would love to do like a page a night kind of thing with this. So far, I'm really liking this paper. I don't see any kind of feathering or anything. And then let's see on the other side, it looks pretty good actually. Yeah. I can feel where I put down more ink on the other side, if that makes sense. But I think that's where, let's say if you wanted to be a little bit heavy-handed with this ink, you could maybe go to the back pages where there is that extra page between the illustrations. All right, so while this green is drying, I kind of want to try coloring in the ocean with the Atlantis ink, but I wonder if I can do like some parts with the shimmer and then other parts without the shimmer. Okay, so I'm going in without shaking the bottle, so there shouldn't be like much of the shimmer particles in my ink right now. Whoa. That's actually really pretty. I want to kind of see what happens if I shake it up at this point and start to see the shimmer in the ink. Okay, so this is what my page is looking so far. I think it's drying really nicely. So I noticed that with the shimmer ink, you can only really get the shimmer effect, kind of like dramatic shimmer effect, if you let the ink pool a lot. So I've done that with some of these areas here, and as it's drying, you can see the shimmer reflecting, and it's really pretty. And so I've done that kind of like throughout, like here, like with these like darker bits, and I think it looks really great and kind of like you're in the water. It looks really cool. And then just as a final thing I'm gonna do on camera, I'm just gonna use seaweed again to add more details to these leaves. I like that with this like theme of Atlantis, like you don't really have to be realistic at all because you're already in a mythical place, you know? And right now I'm working straight out of the bottle, but I would definitely recommend getting like a palette or something just so you don't risk contaminating your bottle. I'm trying to be really careful with that right now. Yeah, so that's my drawing so far, and obviously I can go back in with some other colors to get like the fish and these branches, like roots, I guess. And yeah, but this is looking really great so far. So that's really fun. Great way to use your fountain pen inks. If you've gotten bottles of fountain pen inks, there's like, it can be kind of, it can take a while to use them up, so I think this book would be a really nice, fun way to use your inks. And the paper is holding up really well. The shimmer is looking really great now as it's drying. But yeah, and the ink is behaving really well on the page, so as long as you let it dry a little bit, there's no like bleeding between the inks. Then on the other page, so no bleed through at all and no ghosting either. I would just say the thing I'm noticing is like the texture of the paper. It's doing that thing where if you're too wet with your ink, it can kind of like wrinkle a little bit. But so that's all I'm seeing. I'm not seeing any bleed through or ghosting much at all, actually. I do think if you were using like black ink, you might be able to see it from the other side, but yeah. So far, really great. So that is a look at the Dominant Industry A Log of Atlantis collection with the ink archiving book. the two inks, Atlantis and Seaweed, and the wooden stamp that you can use to make these beautiful ink swatches as well. So yeah, feel free to leave any comments in the comment section below if you love the collection, or yeah, how you feel about this collection. And I hope you had fun watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!